Hello, good afternoon. This is the Midday News. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and Kumasi. It's on Love 99.5 FM. In Ho, we are on Swiss FM and Kekeli Radio. We're also on Clenham Radio in Bato, A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Dreams FM also in Bolgatanga. We're on Sky FM and then also ATL FM in Cape Coast. That's over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We're on myjoyonline.com, Spotify and also on Facebook. In this edition, anger as parents of Islamic Senior High School in Kumasi stormed the school demanding answers after 25 students were hospitalized for what ambulance officials say was respiratory distress following what is believed to be warning shots by the police to disperse protesting students.
Some of them were kept on their spine and they were lifted here and there and they were moving them anyhow. And that was the difficulty.
We're live on the campus. Also in this package, the unending controversy over the National Cathedral project as a key member of the trustees, Reverend Dr. Mensa Otabil, is said to have resigned.
I did go to Parliament and indicated that there will be statement from the government to do that.
The project is now expected to cost $350 million from an initial $100 million with a March 2024 completion date.
2024, we should be able to do that. And so we need to get aggressive about supporting the trustees to fundraise outside the system.
Also this afternoon, commuters stranded as heavy vehicular traffic builds up on the Accra-Temba motorway after Ghana Highways Authority commences work to fix faulty bridges.
Because of the road that they are doing over there, that is also causing traffic. So both sides, there's heat traffic on both sides.
Been in traffic for over 1.5 hours, and it's really bad.
I'm supposed to be at work by 7:30.
We hear from the police, which says it's deploying more men there to ensure public safety.
We are actually going to be here 24/7. There wouldn't be any break to make sure first we manage the traffic, so there's free flow of traffic, and also to ensure there's adequate security around.
We have sports.
Black Stars coach Otto Addo is confident the Ghana Football Association will complete the nationality switches of at least 3 players by close of next week. And in our build-up to Sunday's Father's Day celebration, we ask, what's your real daddy code?
Happy Father's Day.
Good fathers make the journey shorter for their children, and in the scars are victories won for posterity.
If man no day, how we go exist? Happy Father's Day.
Stay with us as we build up on Daddy Code towards Father's Day on Joy 99.7 FM. That and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa, Apawu. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Angry scenes at the Islamic Senior High School in the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, after 25 students were hospitalized for what ambulance service officials say is respiratory distress. Police had fired what is believed to be warning shots to disperse the students who had been demonstrating over the poor state of the roads around the school. I'll take you live to the ground now. For those of you watching us on Facebook, you can see all the videos and live scenes from the school. Aso Heming Terrier of our security desk joins us live. First, let's talk about the condition of these students.
Yes, Emefa, these are students, mainly girls, and they were rushed to a particular spot on the school premises of what the National Ambulance Service personnel say they suffered respiratory distress, meaning that they had difficulty in breathing in that order after inhaling what is believed to be tear gas fired by police officers at the scene. I spoke to the regional manager of the National Ambulance Service, Somik G, who provided some details of the students' condition.
We've not treated any traumatic injuries like gunshot wounds, no. We've not met any of such situations. All that we treated were just difficulty in breathing and people who were exhausted and had difficulty in breathing. We didn't have any bloody situation in our house. So normally the crowd control, no, the public always want to help. But at the end of the day, the way they were lifting the people who were unconscious, because somebody who is trying to breathe, the best thing is for you to put the person in recovery position and allow the person to be there. Since the person can breathe, okay, you try to put the person in recovery position. But some of them were kept on their spine, and they were lifted here and there, and they were moving them anyhow, and that was the difficulty. So we think that normally they should always allow the professionals to, especially when we are at the scene, they should be really assured that we do a good job for the people.
Now, Oheming, now that we know the condition of these students, first give us a background to what actually led to this situation.
Yes, Emefa, this morning, students of the Islamic Senior High School were incensed by what they say is a rampant and increasing figures of pedestrian knockdowns involving their colleagues and teachers of the school. What actually broke the camel's back is an incident that happened over the weekend. They say a teacher of PS was actually knocked down by a speeding vehicle, and she's currently receiving treatment at the Konfanosi Hospital Accident and Emergency Center. So this morning, they marched up on the main road linking Apawu Junction and Barakese, blocking the road to motorists as the protest over delays from authorities in constructing pedestrians and speed ramps on that particular stretch. And they say the absence of zebra crossing, for instance, makes it difficult for motorists to even identify and pay attention to students who want to cross that particular stretch. So police were called in to maintain law and order. And as police arrived, we are told they started firing warning shots and also fired tear gas to disperse the angry students. Some who rushed and then ran into their various dormitories. So that is what led to today's incident.
Well, we understand parents of these students then stormed the school demanding answers. To what questions exactly?
For the parents, they are unhappy and demanding answers. For instance, why school authorities will allow students, majority or some of them who are boarders, to pour onto the streets. So they want to understand why there was what they say lack of supervision on the part of school authorities.
I said unconscious. No, I'm doing the form of a pray. I'm a super papa. And ambulance pick up near the sour and your moko. Except I'm sitting and who too. And a car one. And my minimum dear, Makuma Tom Yamka, but in your bad time. Me won't move from 1 day. Brand Ukrainian, who are about to have a 2 grand from our.
So some parents there telling my colleague Oheming Terry about the state in which they found the students when they got to the scene. But Oheming, in all this, what have the police been saying about it?
It's been difficult getting response from the police, and they have been very, very busy, especially controlling the angry parents who stormed the school premises at the gate, trying to push and force their way through. I saw the Deputy Regional Police Commander, DCOP Akomia Apawu, trying to calm the parents down, but that won't work. So they also brought in some policemen from the formed police unit to help control the crowd. So it's been very difficult for police in managing this particular situation and also speaking to journalists.
Okay.
But a senior police officer told me that they didn't fire a live source into the students as being speculated. For all that they know is that they tried as much as possible to control the students who were rioting.
And the regional minister is taking interest in this particular situation, being to the scene. What has he been saying together with the school authorities?
It is the officials of the Education Ministry and then the Regional Education Director who have been here speaking to the parents to come down. The regional minister, I must say, I'm yet to see him at the premises here. But few minutes ago, the education ministry officials asking parents to come down as they work on their behalf to ensure the safety and the good health of the students.
That's my colleague Ohiming Teria of our security desk giving us updates of the situation at the Islamic Senior High School. And those of you watching on Facebook, you can see all the action right there at the school. But let me bring you back here to Accra. Noftong MP Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa says a key member of the trustees of the National Cathedral project has stepped aside because of concerns about how government is managing, or rather mismanaging, affairs. He also alleges that an official of the National Cathedral is drawing salary from the state as a presidential staffer tasked to oversee the National Cathedral project. Mr. Ablakwa has been a leading voice in the crusade for transparency on the project and had claimed government was spending public funds without necessary parliamentary approval. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta dismissed this allegation last night on state broadcaster GTV.
I truly do not understand that. Okay. Because, I mean, I did go to Parliament and indicated that there will be steep from the government to do that. I don't. I don't want a sense that there's less anything more than integrity in what we are doing in this. And the issue of a leaked letter. What is a leaked letter? I send a letter to controller, and he goes through his process and disburses per certain regulations.
But an Oftong MP, Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, disagrees with the finance minister. He further alleges a key member of the trustees of the National Cathedral has resigned. He's been speaking to Joy News.
It has not been fair to them. It's not been fair to them. That is why I can confirm to you this morning that one very eminent member of the Board of Trustees has walked away. Pastor Menzo is no longer on the board. And it's all the deception and the lack of candor. For more than 2 years, he's not been participating. He's giving clear indication. Dr. Paulo Poku-Mensah, Executive Director. This is a private board. Will you believe when you go through the list of presidential staffers, which was presented to Parliament a few weeks ago by the President? This is the President's signature. Annual report to Parliament on staff of Presidential Office, January to December 2021. And this is in compliance with the Presidential Office Act 1993 at 463. Will you believe when you go to page 15 of this report, this same Dr. Paulo Opoku-Mensah is here. We are paying his salaries as overseer of the National Cathedral. Item 96, Dr. Paulo Opoku-Mensah.
That's a Noftong MP, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. Well, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has also been confirming now that the National Cathedral project is estimated to cost at least $350 million from an initial $100 million. The project is expected to be completed in March 2024. In the coming days, we are told we are going to hear more on this National Cathedral controversy. Now, there's currently a heavy vehicular traffic on the Accra-Tema motorway following rehabilitation works ongoing on some bridges that have failed structural integrity tests and need to be fixed to avert any disaster. Some commuters tell Joy News the situation will have dire consequences on the activities.
Because of the road that they are doing over there, that is also causing traffic. So both sides, there's heat traffic on both sides.
Been in traffic for over 1.5 hours, and it's really bad.
I'm supposed to be at work by 7:30.
When we are from Tema to where I'm going to work, there's heat traffic because because of the road that they are doing over there, that is also causing traffic. So both sides, there's heat traffic on both sides.
About 1 hour now, still I'm not able to get a car to Tema because of the traffic. And I make call at Ashaman. They said the diversion on the motorway is causing the whole mess. As of now, I don't know how I'll get to work. But let's see what will happen next. I'm supposed to be at work by 7:30. Yeah, 7:30, and I left home very early, but still, because of the traffic, I'm not able to get a car.
I'm going to Tema.
For how long have you been standing here?
It's about 30 minutes now.
30 minutes, and you're not getting car?
Yeah.
What do you intend to do?
Oh, nothing. I have no choice. I have to wait for the car. That means I'll be late to get to site. Yeah.
We've been in traffic for over 1.5 hours, and it's really bad. We're going towards the enclave, Tema motorway. I'm a caterer, and I'm just hoping that I'm not too late for the event.
But the Ghana Police Service says adequate security measures have been put in place to avert any criminal activities as a result of the heavy traffic. Director of Operations at the Ghana Police Service, ACP Henry Otu, has been speaking to Joy News.
Motorists will not be disturbed by any criminal activity. We have put in place all necessary measures to ensure that their safety is actually catered for. For the safety of the motorists is paramount to us. And for now, we'll continue to be here throughout the period till the exercise is over.
So what you are saying is that you are stationing your men 24/7 until the work is done?
Yes, we are actually going to be here 24/7. There wouldn't be any break to make sure first we manage the traffic so there's free flow of traffic, and also to ensure there's adequate security around so criminals cannot have any problems with disturb the motoring public.
Meanwhile, supervising engineer at the rehabilitation site, Aaron Nanamponsa, is assuring that the works will be completed in a week.
So there's nothing like or an asphalt here.
So how many men have you deployed to ensure that you meet the timelines?
We have about 30 men.
30 men?
Yeah.
For a particular shift?
No, we are going to run 30 days, that is from now up to 5 o'clock. Then 30 people will be coming again.
But there's no light in this.
We have.
How are you going to work on that?
There is a light over there. That's the tower light that we are going to provide light. So when it's around 4 o'clock, we will mount the tower light.
All right. So let's look at safety. What are you doing to ensure that there's public safety on this road as we are rehabilitating it?
Yeah, as you can see, we have 2 groups. I'm in charge of the main work here. Then the second one, people who are in charge of safety. So safety, as you can see, we are ensuring that everybody over here, everybody is safe here. And those in charge of safety are also doing their job.
That's the engineer at the site. They're interacting with my colleague Samuel Imbura. We turn our attention to health, where this afternoon the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is on high alert for COVID-19 cases, as at least 20 of its staff have contracted the virus. A notice issued by the management of the facility to employees said about 70% of the infections, including 5 doctors and 13 nurses, were all picked up at the facility. This is coming after the Ghana Health Service recommended a return to the wearing of face masks amidst a surge in cases. My colleague Manuel Cranting of our health desk has a copy of that notice issued by the management. He joins me in studio with more. What exactly does the notice say, Manuel?
So, Emefa, the notice says that as healthcare workers learn to live safely with coronavirus, it is our responsibility to reduce the risk of catching COVID-19 and passing it on to other healthcare workers or family members. It continues to give a breakdown of the total COVID-19 infections that have been recorded at the facility. So it currently stands at 23. And out of these 23 cases, 20 of them are from persons who are fully vaccinated, and then 3 were unvaccinated. In terms of staff infection, you have 5 of them being doctors, 13 of them being nurses, and then non-clinical staff being 5. We're told that the concentration is at the accident and emergency unit, the child health, polyclinic, public health, and then the human resource unit of the facility. And then just by way of information, it adds that 70% of the total infections were hospital acquired, and then 30% were community transmissions.
And there were some recommendations for staff and clients.
Indeed. So the statement says that it is indeed recommending that the staff and clients get booster doses to complete their vaccinations. They go back to wearing face masks while on the premises, wash their hands with soap and water or alcohol-based hand rub, and then also organize meetings in well-ventilated environment and observe social distancing. It continues to say that if any of the people develop a dry cough, cold, headache, fever, or any other similar symptoms, they should kindly report it to the polyclinic or the public health unit of the hospital.
Well, we've been hearing from pharmacist and fellow of CDD, Kwame Sapon-Siedu. For him, the sustained vaccine hesitancy may be the reason for the rise in cases. He spoke on the AM show.
Able to give us data to show that a lot of the people who are getting hospitalized fortunately have had a vaccine or 2, which then means that they have a latent ability to respond quickly compared to when COVID came, and that too, the vaccine wasn't there. The Ghana Health Service, from what Dr. Adumaku is saying, is trying to do its bit. The question is, as a society, are we up and doing when it comes to vaccine uptake? I think there's still a high level of vaccine hesitancy from the little I can see, especially amongst the school-going age group, and that cohort needs to be addressed because it looks to me that the latest uptake has come. It started in that cohort and they've taken it home. And now the people with underlying conditions are picking it up and getting hospitalized.
Well, the Regional Health Director for the Bono region, Dr. Fred Adomako, says the initial caution against administering the vaccine to pregnant women and other special groups had created some hesitation.
For Bono East, the next campaign, we are just going to have another campaign. We will launch it in one of the senior high schools. And we are continuously engaging the other group. Last week, I was in Atebubu, Amantin. We went to almost all where we have the antenatal care clinic. I think the engagement with the pregnant women, we also will have to increase that engagement. If you're able to do that, I think the uptake will actually go up.
Now, we stay a while longer on health because managers of some public health facilities say they are struggling to cope after they incurred debts in caring for persons who had COVID-19 at the peak of the pandemic. Government had assured its financial and logistical support to some of these facilities, but 2 years on, some managers of the facility say they are yet to receive the monies. CEO of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Opokuwari Ampoma, for instance, is reported to have mentioned government is owing them 5 million cedis in expenditure. His facility is not the only one reeling under such debts as discussions continue on how these monies can be reimbursed. The Health Committee in Parliament is demanding from government how the 23 billion cedi expenditure on COVID-19 was spent and immediate payment to the health facilities. Thankfully, ranking member on the Health Committee, Kwabna Menta Kando, joins us on the line with more on this. We are grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So interesting revelations we're getting from the Kolebu CEO and others, amongst others. I would want to find out from you, first off, with this in demand for government to give us a breakdown on this expenditure. Where exactly are we with it?
Okay, Emefa, let me give you a background to this revelation. Yes, as part of our working visit as a Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, I think last week around Thursday, we paid, a working visit to Kolebu Teaching Hospital. As part of our discussions, it came to light that they have an outstanding debt of about 5 million Ghana cedis. And it's only Kolebu. If you go to, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Kolebu, Konfanoche, almost all the teaching hospitals have some kind of debt related to COVID in their books. 5 million Ghana cedis. Not only that, the frontline health workers have yet not been given what they are due. You understand? And so if you spend between 23 to 25 billion Ghana cedis on COVID, and you still leave our health facilities in debt, then I don't understand. Somebody must understand. Somebody must explain to me. If you decide to dish out COVID money to people like roasted granules, this is what you see. And so for us, we know nothing but for government to settle all these health facilities and account for the receipts and the entire expenditure on COVID-19, and we insist on it. And Emefa, take it from me. We are not moving until we are clear with the full, accountability on the COVID expenditure.
But we've been at it for some time now. What exactly has been the response from government on this?
Yeah, government, because they know what they have done, they are hesitant. But we insist. Because if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. We started calling for this accountability, not today, you know. Under bizarre circumstances, the first deputy speaker of parliament threw away our motion to set up a bipartisan committee to probe this particular matter. You follow this particular story. We are still insisting that the minister responsible for finance must account in detail of whatever they have spent on COVID, especially when they are telling us that all parliamentary candidates for the MPP in the 2020 elections had 50,000 each. All constituency executives, all regional executives.
Well, we'll leave it here for now. An allegation we're unable to authenticate, though. That's the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Minta Akando. They're taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News. A quick wrap-up of our top stories, though. Anger as parents of Islamic Senior High School in Kumasi storm the school demanding answers after 25 students were hospitalized for what ambulance officials say was respiratory distress following some tear gas shots by the police to disperse protesting students. When we return, we have sports, and then we build up to Sunday Father's Day celebrations and ask what your real daddy code is.
Happy Father's Day. Good fathers make the journey shorter for their children, and in the scars are victories won for posterity.
If man no day, how we go exist? Happy Father's Day to you.
Yama Wakwaba, but Aquaba Magic Busia, brand new channel, Tia Roba, Emuno Tiao, Ewo DSTV channel 149, and Go TV channel 108. Enianom Aquaba Magic Busia, Eddie Nidia Ghanaian programs mu Baufi, Ebi to set the day, to have and to hold, and Yom Senior Cassia, series and a talk show, Bemo Wakao TV sets Nichi, Aquaba Magic Busia, Ewo DSTV access to your 50 Ghana cities per and Go TV value to your 25 Ghana cities per Ebusia Aquaba.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports and Abubuya Cup about Father's Day. Charlie, oh, this country.
What has Abubuya done?
And the balloons. My daughter could have done that.
That was what you saw. Okay.
And the medal.
Okay, we also saw football. We also saw trophy. We saw medals. Medals, others would have wished they also had them. But let's talk about Black Stars now. And, we are building to the FIFA World Cup, and the GFA is in contact with so many players to switch nationality and play for Ghana. Well, head coach of the team, Otoado, has been responding to some of these comments from the general public.
Yes, the time is very limited. First of all, I think it's important to know that especially if you have played for one other national team before, even if it's in the youth and you have low numbers, you can change. But the process is also a time factor. So I think it's an open secret that we have talked to a lot of players, I think latest by next week we will know who would like to join us and who not. Surely we have to be very fast now because we set a limit and we want at least if somebody wants to join us or if you think somebody could fit into our team, he must be ready for the September window.
Players must be ready for September window. That is when the next round of the African Cup of Nations qualifiers would be happening. Emefa.
Thank you very much. And I'll be getting your daddy code later. But Ghana is losing over 5 billion Ghana cedis every year through tax exemptions. Government enacted a bill to streamline the exemptions, but it has been languishing in Parliament since 2019. When passed, Ghana will make substantial savings. For years, analysts have tried to quantify the losses and the hemorrhage to the state's coffers occasioned by the unbridled grant of tax waivers. The Institute of Fiscal Studies, IFS, in its assessment of 2019 mid-year fiscal policy review, stated that the failure of the government to get the bill passed is costing the country dearly. Joy99 is learning the bill will be late this week. We have details contained in that report I'll bring to you subsequently. But listen to the World Bank Country Director, Pierre Laporte.
Digital tools to make sure that everybody is captured in the net. There are new taxes I mentioned. Property taxes is one where most advanced economies is something that is a good item to collect taxes. There are others, and I mentioned exemptions. You won't imagine how huge amounts of money Ghana is losing through these exemptions.
That's World Bank Country Director Pierre Laporte. Subsequently, we'll bring you details of that report. And we're building up to Father's Day on Sunday and pretty much excited about it. But we've been talking about what your real daddy code is. Please send yours. But let's hear some Joy News anchors, Joy FM, and their daddy code.
Happy Father's Day.
Good fathers make the journey shorter for their children. They fight battles for the peace of their children, and in the scars are victories won for posterity. Good fathers are always interested in the future of their children and generations yet unborn. Be a good dad.
If man no day, how we go exist? Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to you.
I bet you're waiting to hear from my colleagues on their Real Daddy Code. I'm waiting for Evan Spencer's own. But we've been hearing from a mentor and a father, Arthur Maxwell Income, ending the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Many more stories making the headlines there. But we have Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil coming up next. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for your company.
Hello, please.